Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Nishit Kumar and with me is Prashant Kumar Sinha with the evening news. The headlines. Union government approves some more relaxations in Unlock 4 guidelines. Metro rail to operate from 7th September. Schools and colleges to remain closed till 30th of September. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says agriculture has a major role to contribute in Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. Recovery rate improves to 76.47% for crore coronavirus tests conducted across the country till date. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to share his thoughts with the people in Mann Ki Baat program tomorrow at 11 a.m. Sporting heroes conferred the National Sports and Adventure Awards virtually by President Ramnath Kovind on National Sports Day, and Centre gives states two options to meet GST compensation requirement for the current financial year. Home Ministry today issued new guidelines for opening up of more activities in areas outside the containment zones. In Unlock 4, which will come into effect from 1st of September, the process of phased reopening of activities has been extended further. Metro rail will be allowed to operate with effect from the 7th of September in a graded manner by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, Ministry of Railways in consultation with the Home Ministry. Standard Operating Procedure SOP in this regard will be issued by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Social, academic, sports, entertainment, cultural, religious, political functions and other congregations will be permitted with a ceiling of 100 persons from the 21st of September. However, such limited gatherings can be held with mandatory wearing of face masks, social distancing, provision for thermal scanning and hand wash or sanitizers. Open-air theatres will be permitted to open with effect from 21st of September. Home Ministry said after extensive consultations with states and UTs, it has been decided that schools, colleges, educational and coaching institutions will continue to remain closed for students and regular class activity up to 30th of September. Online or distance learning shall continue to be permitted and shall be encouraged. Lockdown will continue to be implemented strictly in the containment zones till 30th of September. All activities shall be permitted outside containment zones except cinema halls, swimming pools, entertainment parks, theatres excluding open-air theatre and similar places and international air travel of passengers except as permitted by the Home Ministry. There will be no restriction on interstate and intrastate movement of persons and goods. No separate permission or approval or e-permit will be required for such movements. Home Ministry advised states not to impose any local lockdown outside the containment zones. National directives for COVID-19 management shall continue to be followed throughout the country with a view to ensure social distancing. Shops will need to maintain adequate physical distancing among customers. Home Ministry will monitor the effective implementation of the national directives. Vulnerable persons, persons above 65 years of age, persons with comorbidities, pregnant women and children below the age of 10 years are advised to stay at home except for meeting essential requirements and for health purposes.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that agriculture has a major role to contribute in Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, and self-reliance in agriculture targets at making farmers producer as well as entrepreneur.
जब हम कृषि में आत्मनिर्भरता की बात करते हैं तो ये सिर्फ खाद्यान्न तक ही सीमित नहीं है, बल्कि ये गांव की पूरी अर्थव्यवस्था की आत्मनिर्भरता की बात है। ये देश के अलग अलग हिस्सों में खेती से पैदा होने वाले उत्पादों में वैल्यू एडिशन करके देश और दुनिया के बाजारों में पहुंचाने का मिशन है।
Speaking after inaugurating the college and administration buildings of the Rani Lakshmi Bai Central Agriculture University, Jhansi, through video conferencing today, Mr. Modi said self-sufficiency in agriculture is not limited to food only. Rather, it is about self-sufficiency of the entire economy of the village. He said in line with this spirit, several historic agricultural reforms were taken, and just like other industries, now farmers can also sell their produce anywhere in the country, wherever they fetch better prices. He said a special dedicated fund of 1 lakh crore rupees has been set up for providing better facilities and promoting industries in a cluster-based approach. Saying that steady efforts are continuing to connect farming with modern technology, the Prime Minister noted that research institutions and agricultural universities have a vital role to play. He said now there are 3 central agricultural universities in the country compared to just 1 central university 6 years ago. Talking about the steps taken to minimize the problems faced by people during the coronavirus pandemic, Mr. Modi said free rations are being provided to crores of poor and rural families in Uttar Pradesh. Around 10 lakh poor women in Bundelkhand have been given free gas cylinders during this period. Under the Garib Kalyan Rozgar Abhiyan, over 700 crore rupees have been spent in Uttar Pradesh so far, under which employment was provided to lakhs of workers. The Prime Minister said, as promised earlier, the campaign to provide drinking water to every house is being executed at a rapid pace. He said around 500 water-related projects worth more than 10,000 crore rupees have been approved for the region. Out of this, work on projects worth 3,000 crore rupees has commenced in the last 2 months. He said it will directly benefit lakhs of families in Bundelkhand. The Prime Minister said work is in progress on Atal Groundwater Scheme to raise the level of groundwater in Bundelkhand.
पानी की रिसाइकलिंग हो, बरसात के पानी को कैसे जमीन के नीचे स्टोर किया जाए, इसके लिए जो आधुनिक और कम खर्च वाली तकनीक है, उनके बारे में जानकारी सामान्य जन तक पहुंचाना जरूरी है.
He expressed confidence that once Bundelkhand gets enough water, life in the region will change completely. He said that projects worth thousands of crore rupees like the Bundelkhand Expressway Defence Corridor will create thousands of new employment opportunities there. He said the mantra of Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan and Jai Vigyan will be echoed in all 4 directions in Bundelkhand. The Prime Minister reiterated the commitment of the centre and the Uttar Pradesh government to enrich the ancient identity of Bundelkhand. After inauguration, the Prime Minister interacted with students of the university and urged the people of Jhansi and Bundelkhand to make Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan a success.
Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan today said that India has one of the lowest global COVID fatality rates. Sharing the 20th meeting of the high-level group of ministers on COVID-19 in New Delhi, he said the country's case fatality rate is at its lowest 1.81%. Dr. Harshvardhan said the recovery rate of COVID cases in the country has reached 76.47% and only 0.29% of cases are on ventilators, 1.93% in ICU, and only 2.88% of cases are on oxygen. The minister informed that GOM that more than 338 lakhs N95 masks, nearly 135 lakh PPEs and about 27,000 ventilators have been provided by the centre to the states and union territories. Health Minister instructed officials to develop standard operating procedures for the members of parliament and the legislative assembly sessions comprising COVID protocols and preventive measures. The GOM also expressed concern about the forthcoming festival seasons and advised everyone to adopt safe and COVID-appropriate behavior. The chairpersons of the Empowered Group 1 on Medical Emergency Management Plan, Dr. Vinod K. Paul, apprised the GOM of the process of COVID vaccine development in India and around the world. He stated that 29 candidates, including 2 Indians, are in clinical trials, out of which 6 are in Phase 3. In India, Bharat Biotech's vaccine candidate based on inactivated virus procured by ICMR is in Phase 2 trial, along with Zydus Cadilla's candidate, which is based on viral DNA. The Oxford vaccine candidate developed by Serum Institute of India is already in Phase 3 trial in Maharashtra and some other states. During the meeting, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, Civil Aviation Minister Hardeep Singh Puri, Shipping Minister Mansukh Lal Mandavia, Minister of State for Health Ashwini Kumar Chaubey and Minister of State for Home Nityanand Rai were also present in the meeting.
India has crossed a new peak of conducting 4 crore tests till date. During the past 24 hours, more than 9,28,000 tests were conducted. The Health Ministry said with focused, consistent and coordinated efforts led by the centre and implemented by the states and union territories, India has set a new landmark of testing 4 crore 4,06,609 people. The ministry said India has come a long way from conducting just one test from the laboratory in Pune in January this year to crossing the 4 crore tests milestone. This has boosted the tests per million with a sharp increase to 29,280. India is following the strategic approach of test, track and treat, where testing forms the initial and crucial pillar of COVID response and management. The ministry said the national positivity rate has remained low at 8.57% and is constantly falling. It is only by aggressive testing that positive cases are identified at an early stage. Their close contacts can be promptly tracked and isolated. The Health Ministry said there are as many as 1,576 laboratories in the country, including 1,002 laboratories in the government sector and 574 private laboratories for conducting tests.
We had made remarkable progress in the development of these new labs. So today our number of labs stands at 1,576 with over 1,000 labs in the government sector. During this month we crossed the 1 million test mark, and yesterday itself we tested 9,28,761 patients in a single day all over the country. We have already crossed the 4 crore mark on the total number of tests that we have done all over the country to diagnose patients with COVID.
A total of 1,954 new confirmed cases of coronavirus have been reported in Delhi during the last 24 hours, taking the total number of cases to over 1,71,000. Delhi government has said that over 1,52,000 people affected with coronavirus have been cured so far. In the last 24 hours, 1,449 people recovered and 15 deaths were reported in the national capital, taking the toll to 4,404. Presently, the total number of active corona cases in the national capital is 14,040. In Manipur, 129 persons were discharged in the last 24 hours from hospitals and COVID care centers after finding COVID-19 free on RT-PCR tests, thus increasing the recovery rate to 70.23%. Meanwhile, 117 persons, including 30 personnel from the Central Armed Police Force, were confirmed as new COVID-19 positive cases in the last 24 hours, while one male aged 78 years from Imphal East district expired at JNIMS due to COVID-19 positive and other comorbid health conditions.
In Nagaland, 46 positive cases of COVID-19 were reported today, while 50 people recovered. Health and Family Welfare Minister S. Pangnu Phom said out of 582 samples tested, 44 were tested and detected in Kohima and 1 each in Fake and Mon. The segregation of today's cases are reported from 20 returnees, 13 frontline workers, 10 armed forces and 3 are traced contacts. The total number of positive cases climbed to 3,851, out of which 925 are active cases and 2,908 people have recovered. So far, 8 people have lost their lives. In Rajasthan, COVID-19 cases are continuously increasing in the state, though the recovery rate has also increased to about 80%. With 595 new cases reported today in the state, the total number of infected persons has gone up to 77,965. After the increase of corona infection, the district administration has started to impose restrictions in many districts. A report.
According to the report of the Health Department, the maximum 110 COVID cases have been reported in Jaipur, after which the total number of infected people in the capital has crossed 10,000 mark. 85 new cases have been reported in Kota, 63 in Udaipur, while 61 persons found positive in Alwar. The district administration of Alwar has issued orders of complete lockdown in Bhiwadi and Tijara town on every Tuesday. Due to the rising number of corona cases, lockdown has been imposed in Kota city areas from 8 p.m. tonight to September 6. There will be a lockdown in Bikaner from 6 p.m. this evening to Monday morning. Jitendra Dwivedi, AIR News, Jaipur.
In Kerala, a 110-year-old woman recovered from COVID-19 infection today. Hailing from Malappuram, the elderly became the oldest person to recover from COVID in the state and was under the treatment of Manjeri Medical College. Meanwhile, Kerala confirms 2,543 new cases of COVID-19 today. Tribal Affairs Minister Arjun Munda today said that Andaman and Nicobar Island administration has taken several steps to protect the vulnerable tribal groups from the COVID pandemic. He said officials from the ministry are in regular touch with local administration in Port Blair, working for the welfare of indigenous tribal group in the island. There are 6 notified scheduled tribes in the island. Except Nicobarese, rest of the 5 tribes, Great Andamanese, Zarrawa, Sentinelese, Onge and Chompen are recognized as vulnerable tribal group. Jarawa has been advised to stay in smaller groups to avoid any possible spread in an event of COVID-19 outbreak.
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Union government approves some more relaxations in Unlock 4 guidelines. Metro Rail to operate from the 7th of September. Schools and colleges to remain closed till the 30th of September. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says agriculture has a major role to contribute in Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. Recovery rate improves to 76.47%. 4 crore coronavirus tests conducted across the country till date. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to share his thoughts with the people in Mann Ki Baat program tomorrow at 11 a.m. Sporting heroes conferred National Sports and Adventure Awards virtually by President Ramnath Kovind on National Sports Day, and Centre gives states 2 options to meet GST compensation requirement for the current financial year. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will share his thoughts with the people in the country and abroad in the Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio tomorrow at 11 a.m. It will be the 68th episode of the monthly radio program. It will be broadcast on the entire network of AIR and Doordarshan, and also on the AIR News website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR mobile app. It will also be streamed live on the YouTube channels of AIR, DD News, PMO, and Information and Broadcasting Ministry. AIR will broadcast the program in regional languages immediately after the Hindi broadcast. The regional language versions will be repeated at 8 in the evening. President Ramnath Kovind today virtually conferred the National Sports and Adventure Award 2020 on the occasion of National Sports Day. Mr. Kovind presented Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award, Arjuna Award, Dronacharya Award, Dhyan Chand Award, Tenzing Norgay National Adventure Award and Rashtriya Khel Protsahan Puraskar. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Kovind said that excellence and achievements in sports are not only the responsibility of the government. He said the culture of sports can be promoted only by the participation of people of every class and region.
हमें यह भी ध्यान रखना है कि खेलों में उत्कृष्टता और उपलब्धियां केवल सरकार की जिम्मेदारी नहीं है। हर वर्ग तथा क्षेत्र के लोगों की भागीदारी से ही खेल की संस्कृति को बढ़ावा मिल सकता है। खेलों में निवेश राष्ट्र निर्माण की दिशा में एक सामूहिक प्रयास है, जिससे समाज मजबूत होता है और आगे बढ़ता है। मुझे यह देखकर खुशी होती है कि अनेक कारपोरेट्स, एनजीओ तथा शिक्षण संस्थान इस क्षेत्र में महत्वपूर्ण योगदान कर रहे हैं।
Our Bangalore correspondent has talked to some awardees who won the Dronacharya Awards today. Both were present virtually in the awards function from Bangalore. Trupti Murugunde, a badminton player who won the Dronacharya Award, said,
as a sports person, everybody feels good when you are appreciated, and especially when you have had a long career where you have had a lot of hard work, a lot of sacrifice, and a lot more other things. So it feels very, happy and very honored to receive this award. And let me also say that this award is not the end for me. This is going to be just the new beginning.
Jude Felix Sebastian, a hockey player who won the Dronacharya Award, also expressed his feelings. He said,
I'm very happy that I got the highest award in coaching, and also I got the highest award while I was playing for the country. But now all the awards to be won has been won. Now my ambition is to coach India and win medals for India. So I look forward to working in that direction and bringing laurels to this country.
Our correspondent from Bhopal has filed this report.
Para swimmer Satyendra Singh Lohia of Madhya Pradesh is the first Divyang Indian sports person of the country who has been awarded today with the Tenzing Norgay Adventure Award. He is also the first Asian Divyang swimmer to cross the 42-kilometer long Catalina Channel in the US in just 11 hours 34 minutes. Lohia says that I have made my problem to my strength. Divyang only need cooperation and respect, not sympathy. Para swimmer Satyendra Singh was also conferred with the Best Sportsperson National Award by Vice President Venkaiah Naidu on World Divyang Day. He has also been awarded the highest sports award of Madhya Pradesh as well as many other national and international honors. Apart from Mr. Lohia, Malkham trainer Yogesh Malvi of Madhya Pradesh has also been awarded the Dronachar Award. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
The National Sports Day is celebrated on 29th August, the birth anniversary of hockey legend Major Dhyan Chand. He helped India win 3 Olympic gold medals in hockey in 1928, 1932 and 1936. On the occasion, President, Vice President, Prime Minister, Sports Minister, Information and Broadcasting Minister and others have greeted sportspersons and paid tribute to Major Dhyan Chand. The prize money in 4 of the 7 categories of the National Sports and Adventure Awards has been enhanced. Youth Affairs and Sports Minister Kiran Rijiju announced the enhancement on the occasion of National Sports Day today. The prize money for the Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award has been increased to 25 lakh rupees from the previous amount of 7.5 lakh rupees. Arjuna Award has been enhanced to 15 lakh rupees from 5 lakh. The Dronacharya lifetime awardees who were earlier given 5 lakh rupees will now be given 15 lakh rupees as cash prize, while Dronacharya regular will be given 10 lakh instead of 5 lakh rupees per awardee. Dhyan Chand awardees will be given 10 lakh rupees instead of 5 lakh rupees.
The centre has communicated to states the 2 borrowing options to meet the GST compensation requirement for the current financial year. This follows discussions in the 41st meeting of the GST Council held on Thursday. The states are to communicate their preference within 7 working days. An official release said a meeting of state finance secretaries with the Union's finance secretary and secretary expenditure is scheduled to be held on Tuesday for clarifying any issues in this regard. The Border Security Force BSF today said they have detected a tunnel near the India-Pakistan International Border IB in Samba district of Jammu Division in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. According to Inspector General of the BSF in Jammu, NS Jambal, this tunnel is around 150 yards long from the zero line, adding the mouth of the tunnel was properly reinforced by sandbags which have the markings of Pakistan.
ये टनल करीब 150 गज है, पाकिस्तान की तरफ से आ रही है और इंडिया में पहुंचने पर इसकी करीब गहराई जो है वो 20 से 25 फुट ग्राउंड के नीचे है और उसके मुंह के ऊपर प्रॉपरली सैंडबैग्स के साथ में इसको रीइंफोर्स किया हुआ है। उन सैंडबैग्स के ऊपर जो मार्किंग है वो पाकिस्तान की है, जिसके ऊपर कराची लिखा हुआ है, शकरगढ़ लिखा हुआ है, जिससे क्लियरली ये इंडिकेट होता है कि ये टनल जो है ये पाकिस्तान से शुरू हुई है, यहाँ तक आके खत्म हुई है और इतनी बड़ी टनल खोदने में कहीं ना कहीं पाकिस्तान एस्टेब्लिशमेंट का जरूर हाथ है और उनका नॉलेज है।
The senior BSF officer said the sandbags have proper markings of Pakistan, which clearly shows that it was dug with proper planning and engineering efforts, adding without the concurrence and approval of Pakistani rangers and other agencies, such a big tunnel cannot be built. He said that a protest will be lodged with Pakistani authorities, asking them to take action against the guilty. The tunnel is approximately 20 feet long, of 3 feet to 4 feet in diameter in the Indian territory near the border fencing.
In the war against COVID-19 pandemic, doctors and medical staff remain at the forefront of the fight, and many doctors have sacrificed their lives while treating and saving the life of positive patients. In fact, the doctors and medical staff are at the most risk point to contract the virus as they directly come in contact with patients. To extend a big help to the doctors attending the infected patients, scientists at Tripura University has designed a robot which can prevent the doctors, nurses and health staff from getting infected while they come in contact with patients infected with the virus. The robot is named as COVID-19 Warbot. A report.
The robot Warbot can take care of the coronavirus patient from a 15 to 20 meter distance. The remote control robot can carry 10 to 15 kilograms of materials. It can deliver food, medicines and other essentials to COVID-19 patients. 32-year-old Harjit Nath, who is an assistant professor at the Chemical and Polymer Engineering Department of Tripura University, has developed this robot, and it is now in service at the Tripura Medical College and Hospital at Agartala. Talking to AIR News, Dr. Harjit said that the robot is regulated by a transmitter and a receiver. It can work for 90 minutes after the battery is given 5-hour charge.
So by that one can sit at a very safe place of around 15 to 20 meters away, and he or she can move this robot to the patient, and this robot can easily carry food packets, water bottles and all other stuffs to the patients whenever it is needed.
The doctor said that the robot also has a Wi-Fi controlled smart camera inbuilt with a microphone and speaker, and doctors can also have a live view of the patients. This is Rina Nongmaitem, AIR News, Agartala.
Petroleum Minister Dharmendra Pradhan along with Education Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank today laid the foundation stone for the academic block, library and staff quarters at the Central University of Odisha in Koraput. Mr. Pradhan congratulated the faculty and students and expressed happiness at CUO establishing itself as a premier centre for higher learning in Odisha. Talking about the impetus given to higher education in Odisha, Mr. Pradhan said Prime Minister Narendra Modi has always given a special focus on higher education in Odisha. He said under the leadership of Prime Minister, several premier institutes of learning like IIM, IIT, IISER, CPET, NISER, ICT, IOCL have been established in Odisha.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi today greeted people on Telugu Language Day. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said, "Today we appreciate all those who are making Telugu popular, especially amongst the youth." He also paid tributes to the great Gidugu Venkata Ramamurthy, whose thoughts, writings and social reform endeavours have left a lasting impact on generations. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the Administrative Council, which met under the chairmanship of Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha, gave approval to establishment of State Council of Educational Research and Training, SCERT, by merging the State Institutes of Education. The SCERT, being the apex academic authority of the Union Territory, is mandated to assist and advise the administration in the implementation of policies and programs for human resource development in the field of education, human and child development and national integration on the analogy of NCERT, the National Apex Academic Authority.
In Nagaland, Department of Youth Resources and Sports today held Fit India Freedom Run at Indira Gandhi Stadium in Kohima, marking the National Sports Day. YRS department officials, state coaches, along with National Service Scheme volunteers took part in the event. Flagging of the event, Advisor for Youth Resources and Sport, Zail Neha, said the event aims to encourage fitness among the people and also help them keep away from health disorders. In Mizoram, the ruling Mizo National Front MNF won the elections to village councils and urban local bodies that went to polls on Thursday. Out of 550 village councils, MNF secured 324 councils, while the opposition Congress won 96 village councils and Zoram People's Movement ZPM party won 38. The State Election Commission declared the results this evening. Also, MNF won 50 urban councils out of 59 councils which went to polls. Out of total of 83 local councils, the State Election Commission earlier suspended polls in 24 local councils to contain the spread of COVID-19. The Congress won in 4 and ZPM won 1 local council. Enforcement Directorate ED has freezed around 47 crore rupees of companies involved in running Chinese online betting apps. The agency had yesterday conducted searches at 15 locations spread across Delhi, Gurgaon, Mumbai and Pune under the provisions of Prevention of Money Laundering Act in a case related to illegal betting. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital Delhi will experience thunderstorm with rain. It will have a minimum temperature of around 25 degrees Celsius and maximum of 33 degrees. Mumbai will experience generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. The minimum temperature will be 25 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 28 degrees. Chennai will have generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. The temperature will hover between 27 and 36 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will witness partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. On to the north, in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the minimum temperature will be 24 degrees Celsius in Jammu, while the maximum will be around 33 degrees. The city will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. In Srinagar, the minimum temperature will be around 15 degrees, while the maximum will be 28 degrees. Ladakh will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. In Gilgit, temperature will hover between 15 and 28 degrees Celsius. In Muzaffarabad, there will be mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The temperature will hover between 20 and 34 degrees Celsius. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Union government approves some more relaxations in Unlock 4 guidelines. Metro rail to operate from 7th September. Schools and colleges to remain closed till 30th of September. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says agriculture has a major role to contribute in Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. Recovery rate improves to 76.47%. 4 crore coronavirus tests conducted across the country till date. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to share his thoughts with the people in Mann Ki Baat program tomorrow at 11 a.m. Sporting heroes conferred National Sports and Adventure Awards virtually by President Ramnath Kovind on National Sports Day, and Centre gives states 2 options to meet GST compensation requirement for the current financial year. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.